Let's go to line number 1 now. Hello, Rod Liver. You're on the air.
Hello, Patty Dudley. How you been?
Best kind, my friend. You?
Good. Great. How was your vacation?
Excellent, boy.
Yeah, we had a lovely time over in PEI in that area, you know. But, Patty, what I'm calling about today is the return home. Now, you know, when we got on the ferry in North Sydney, we soon realized that we never had enough gas to get from Port aux Basques to Corner Brook. I mean, that can happen. And, you know, with the mad rush of trying to make the ferry and that sort of thing, and the traffic. And that's nobody's fault but my own. However, I soon found out that you cannot buy gas in Port aux Basques after 12 o'clock p.m. Once, if you're there, you're done. It's either check in a hotel or wait till 7 o'clock the next morning for someone to serve you gas. Now, you know, I keep hearing the mayor of Port aux Basques on and saying, you know, everyone's always crapping on Port aux Basques and crapping on the ferry run, that sort of thing. Well, I'm not here to give the ferry run a bad name. The ferry was excellent. We were on the Blue Puttees. The service was great. The staff were excellent. They did what they could. She said, look, you know, the best thing you're going to do is you're going to have to wait. There's even some of the staff said there's a lady who used to open up her gas bar. She doesn't do it anymore because she's got small kids. But I thought, you know what? That's not service. And if the people of Port aux Basques or the town of Port aux Basques expects the ferry to continue to run there, they're going to have to step up to the plate here and provide some service as well. I mean, what's wrong with, you know, providing an emergency service of some sort, or even the Chamber of Commerce getting involved in it if they have one, and make sure that the people getting off that ferry aren't left stranded like I would have been if it wasn't for one of my brothers in the Masonic Lodge who jumped to the challenge and made sure that he was waiting for me at 2:30 in the morning with enough gas to get me home to Corner Brook.
Is there any type of warning on the other side that this is indeed the reality for the tourist landing in Port aux Basques?
There was absolutely no warning. If there had been, I mean, you know, we would have taken other measures. However, when we found that we were on the boat, they were lowering the bib, and we just happened to mention, I said, geez, you know, I haven't got enough gas. And one of the girls overheard me and said, well, you're not going to get any in Port aux Basques. Is that where you're staying tonight? When we get in at 2 o'clock in the morning, I said, no. Well, then we're going to Corner Brook first, and then you know, the rest go on to Paradise. And she said, well, you're not getting any gas there. And I couldn't believe it. I mean, like, you know, I was shocked.
It seems bizarre because not only is it leaving travelers high and dry who might have stayed in Port aux Basques, but this is looking some profit right in the eye. You know, when people getting off of those boats sometimes, and this is not a knock on Marine Atlantic, when you travel you're a captive audience. Sometimes the price of the goods you want to buy is a little bit out of line. So people would stop at your gas station, fill up with the munchies and the fuel and make their move. So this is looking profit straight in the eye. I don't get it.
Well, the only thing that was open was the Tim Hortons, right? That was the only thing that we could see open.
And no gas in there.
And well, no gas there. However, let us say, you know, a good Samaritan with the Masonic Lodge, Cabot Lodge in Port aux Basques, David Davies, made sure that we had enough gas to get home. And I mean, like, you know, I continuously hear people crapping on Marine Atlantic and Port aux Basques saying they should run the ferry to Stephenville or Corner Brook. Well, guess what? You know, if Port aux Basques is not going to provide some service, I mean, because Marine Atlantic can't do it all. So maybe it's time for them to step up to the plate here and make sure that there's some kind of service provided, if not emergency, where travelers like ourselves, you know, myself and Tina and 3 kids, aren't left stranded. You know, I mean, this is ridiculous, right? So
are you saying that Marine Atlantic should do something about this?
No, I say, I'm not saying that Marine Atlantic should. I'm saying the town of Port aux Basques should.
Oh, yeah, because Marine Atlantic, I mean, they have no leverage on this one.
No, absolutely not. However, I'm sure that, you know, Marine Atlantic doesn't want to see its customers left stranded in Port aux Basques once they get off the ferry with nowhere to go.
No.
Right?
No,
you know, and then to go check into a hotel for 2 or 3 hours, 4 hours or 5 hours, you know, it's a bit ridiculous, right? There's a bit much to expect of people when they're traveling that way. Somebody should have made certain that there should be some kind of a partnership between the town of Port aux Basques. And again, I mean, I've heard the mayor out there many times. I'm not sure who it is now. It was Mayor Button at one time, talking about people when they say, oh, we should move the service to Corner Brook or move the service to Stephenville. Well, I can tell you what. I drove to Corner Brook last night, and when I got in here, or this morning at 5:30, there was a gas bar open. It was open 24 hours. And I bet there's one open in Stephenville. So, boys, it's not rocket science. I mean, open up a freaking gas bar, I mean, so the people getting off this ferry have some recourse.
Yeah, and you know what? Even if you speak to the mayor, once again, I think Marine Atlantic has nothing to do or say about this. And I don't even North America do, because how's he going to say to someone who runs a private enterprise, hey, you got to open up a gas bar?
Well, you know something, but what I'm saying is that Marine Atlantic directly benefits the town of Port aux Basques. Yeah. And the mayor is always on about people crapping on the service. Well, the service was excellent. The only thing that fell through here was the fact that we couldn't get anything on the go. Between the Chamber of Commerce, the oil companies, the mayor, I'm certain that he wants to make sure that the customers coming through his town or the visitors have a pleasant experience. But I can assure you this wasn't a pleasant experience.
No, I'm with you, Rod. I understand your plight, because that's completely ridiculous. And, to your point, the last time we heard from the mayor of Port aux Basques was about a job posting for Marine Atlantic for one of their senior staff. The option was to stay in St. John's or to live in Port aux Basques. It was removed. That person now operates out of St. John's. They were crooked as sin about it, and I understand why.
Yes, and I supported their cause. I thought it just made really good sense.
Yeah, but you can't have your cake and eat it too. You got to be a full service provider if you want to be the port of call for Marine Atlantic. I'm with you. I understand.
Fair enough. Hey, Patty.
All the best, brother.
Thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure.
All right, buddy.
Bye-bye. There you go. That's sort of odd, but, we have a growing tourism business in the province. We really do. Apparently, the provincial government is coming out with a tourism application for iPhone. I'm not so sure if it includes the other operating systems, whether it's Android or whatever the case, whatever you operate. But if it's just coming out for iPhone, waste of time. But this kind of stuff is really important, whether it's signage on the roadways, infrastructure to ensure that what we advertise in our glossy, colorful, beautiful ads is actually available. You have the level of service you expect when you come to a first world province in the country, Canada. And that does not include getting off a boat ride, the ferry, and not being able to get a drop of gas in the town that hosts the port. So I find that curious, and it's a legitimate complaint to offer, and I appreciate Rod's input. We're on Twitter. We're VOCM Backtalk right away when Rod's on the line chiming in with his issue. One of our followers, Steve. Hello, Steve. Thanks for that, buddy. He says you ran out of gas just outside of Steel Mountain, Port aux Basques. No late night gas. True story. So Rod Liver is obviously not the one who's suffered this. Steve has, and you can only imagine how many tourists are in the same predicament. And then they get off and they don't know who to call. They don't have a good Samaritan in their phone book, their address book on their telephone. So that's a good one. Maybe we can find out if someone from the Chamber of Commerce in that region, what they think of it, what they think might be a solution they can offer. All right.